Hey, what's going on, guys? Alex here. Today I'm bringing you a Blue Eye Stack profile. This is a deck that I've been touring around for the past 3 weeks. I managed to get all the cards that I needed by the sneak peek, but this deck has a lot of different variants that you can play with. And now that we got the Felgrand structure deck, I decided to add a few of the cards to it, and it's been running a little more smoothly. Yes, you still get those clunky hands with a bunch of level A dragons and that you can't do anything with, but I added a few spells in the main deck to help put those dragons in the graveyard. So I wanted to play this deck at Nationals, but I didn't because of lack of testing. By the way, I did really bad at nets. I lost my round 1 and 2 to anti-spell, and that was really bad. So I went X3 after round 5. If you guys want to know more about Nats, let me know and I can easily just make a Nats video. But yeah, I wish I played this deck instead of Pendulums because of anti-spell. Yes, this deck has a lot of spells in the main deck, but you can still play around those. With Pendulums, you can't play around anti-spell, so enough talking. Let's get on with the deck. The deck is 42 cards, and I'm playing 42 cards because there's a lot of ways to put dragons into the graveyard and get cards out of your hands, so playing 42 isn't that bad. So playing 3 of Blue Eyes, you have to play 3. At times I wish I could play 2, but it's not an option, especially because I am playing Malefic Blue Eyes, so you have to play 3. And they have to be the original artwork. Awesome. For the best normal summon in the deck, I play 3 Sage, Advisor Blue. This card is really good. He lets you get all your combo pieces, mainly the stones, of course. Summoning Sage and having a terraforming or Dragon's Ravine will put you ahead so much just because you have a lot of revival, and Sage will just make sure that ensures your +1s. This card is really good for the deck. Even having 2 on your opening hand isn't that bad because you can normal summon 1, search and effect Valor, and then use the other one to send the one on field to the graveyard to summon a dragon. So 3 is actually very, very good, mandatory in my opinion. For the other 3 off, I'm playing 3-inch White Stone of Ancients. This card is really good too. Before the deck came out, I was contemplating on playing only 2, but after playing the deck for a while, I found out that 3 is actually mandatory. You can't go with 2 or 1. 3 is just the way to go on a pure Blue Eyes deck, that is. Plus, it helps you recycle your Blue Eyes from the graveyard to the hand to use those trade-ins or Dragon's Ravine. So 3 for right now. 2 Dragons, Spirit of White. This card, it's kind of busted. Being a spell trap removal on summon, it's actually very good. I have won so many games just because I looped this guy left and right. Its effect of running away, basically tagging out for a Blue Eyes, it's actually really good too. If your opponent is summons a 2800 monster and they're planning on running this over, well, they won't because you'll be summoning a Blue Eyes instead of him or in its place. So 2 of him is actually really good. 2 effect Valors for the only hand traps that we play in the main deck because Max C, it's really support right now. It's not doing its job. It's only really good against BA, and this deck has a great BA matchup. So being searchable by Sage and being a tuner is actually really good. And the fact that it's effect valor too, it helps you protect your board. So 2 of right now. 1 Malefic Blue Eyes. In the standard Blue Eyes deck, you should not be playing this card because you don't want to banish your Blue Eyes and you don't rely on the field spell that much. But in this version, which I'm playing Dragon's Ravine, this card is actually really, really good. Plus, it's another level 8 body for rank 8, and it's a Blue Eyes level 8 monster to summon Spirit Ult. So it's actually really, really good. The 1 of is being clutch. 1 Felgrand, one of the new additions. This card is nuts. Both its effects are actually insane. The fact that you can banish any of their monsters, targeting, remember it targets it, which is very important. Felgrand, it's nuts. It helps you make free rank 8s, and it's a DD Crow. It's really, really good. Spot removal. What more can you ask? So good. Just the one though. Two, I was doing two and it became really cloggy. One is perfect. For the last level A I played is Dragonite Armor Leviathan. This card, it's very obscure. A lot of people might not know what it does, but when it on summon, you can target a dragon monster in your graveyard and equip it to it. And I have two very powerful targets that this monster can equip to. So there's a few combos that you can do with Leviathan, and it's actually really good. Shout out to my friend Will for actually bringing this up. This card is actually nuts. It's very, very good. For the last big dragon, I play one Arcbrave. Card is bunkers. When summoned from the graveyard, it banishes all your spells, all your opponent's spells and traps. That is nuts. Really, really good. This is one of the combos. You special summon this from the graveyard, equip this. When this dies, on the next standby phase, you bring it back and then re-equip it. So it's an infinite loop if your opponent doesn't have an out to these. And to go along with the other part of the combo, it's Dragon Buster Destruction Sword. Basically, this card states that if it's equipped to a monster, your opponent cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck. You can still do things from the extra deck, but they can't. So if you summon this and this is in the graveyard, you can equip it to it, and your opponent's locked. And remember, if this card is equipped, you can special summon it to the field, and then you can synchro again. So if you have Arcbrave and this, you can make a start of Sparks. So it's actually very clutch. This combo is really nice. Again, shout out to Will for coming up with that combo. And for the last monster, I play one White Stone of Legend, because if you have Cards of Consonance and this, it's really good. It's a +1, lets you keep going. So just the one, it's very good. That's a lot of creatures, a lot of high level monsters, because you want to revive them with all your revival spell and traps. Once Alternative White Dragon comes out, this deck will change a lot, and I will do an update then. But as of right now, this is the way I'm playing it, and it's been working wonders. For the spell cards, I am playing. Sorry about that. I am playing 3 trade-ins. You want to get those dragons out of your hand. You really, really do. And the fact that at times you can top deck this and have no dragons, to a lot of decks that might be a problem, but to this one isn't, just because you can banish a stone from the graveyard to add a blue eyes to hand to turn this into a Pot of Greed. Trading is really good. I usually don't draw this card for some reason. I don't know why the deck doesn't like me that much, and I never draw this card, but you still play 3 because it helps you dig, and it puts the dragons in the graveyard, which that's where you want them. To special summon them back with this card. Return of the Dragon Lords, aka Gospel Revivals. This card is fantastic. The fact that it lets you get any level 7 or 8 dragon from the graveyard, and it's a blanket protection for all of your dragons. Really, really good. Yeah, Monster Reborn's banned, but they came up with this. Sure, Konami. You have to play 3. It's a mandatory, no-brainer. 2 Dragons Ravine, because you want to get those dragons out of your hand, and you want to put more dragons in the graveyard so you can keep comboing off. If you draw this card in early game and you manage to resolve it twice, you're probably going to win the duel. That's how dumb this card is. To get to Ravine, I'm playing 2 Terraformings. You can do 3 and 2, but I think that's too much. 2 and 2 has been working for me, and it's a standard field spell lineup for most people. So 2 Ravine, 2 Terraforming has been working. To put dragons in the graveyard, 2 dragons in the graveyard. I'm playing Dragon Shrine. It's really good because it helps you put a normal dragon and another dragon in the graveyard. Especially because I'm playing Silver Scry, that's actually really good. If you have this, and Gospel Revival, you can make a rank 8, because you can send a normal and then another dragon, you revive the normal, which most of the time will be White Spirit Dragon. You banish a spell trap and then you summon the other guy, so it's actually really clutch. 2 and 2 has been working fine because these 2 are once per turn, so I don't want to clog my hand with cards that are limited, that limit me to doing things. For back row destruction, I play 2 Twin Twisters, because if your opponent has a Solemn or a Macrocosmos or something that basically will stop your plays, you will be struggling a lot. Running into solemn warnings or strike, it's not very good. So I recommend maining two twin twisters. There are so many cards that you want in the graveyard, so this is actually very clutch. For the one who's card consonants, really good with all the stones. And Dragon Buster is a level 1 tuner dragon, so it works. I have 5 targets, so one card's consonant is actually really good. I might bump up this to 2, but not quite sure. The best card in the deck, Soul Charge. If you resolve this, you will win the duel. It's so good. I don't have to say more about this card. This card is just insane. And for the last spell, I'm playing one Left Arm Offering, because this card becomes any spell, but it can become this spell. If you are mid to late game, you top deck this or this, it's game, because it's basically the same. At times you have like dead cards that you don't really need in the hand, and then you can banish a stone to out of Blue Eyes, and you can there you go, make it live. So one, it's actually really clutch, really good. That's a lot of spells. For the traps, not that many traps. I was doing strikes instead of this, but paying a lot of life points in the deck kind of sucks, because you want Soul Charge to be really good. So like basically Soul Charge for 5 so you can win the duel. So I made the strikes into breakthrough skill, which basically does the same thing, stops effects. Yes, strike stops a pendulum summon, but you don't really struggle against pendulums. So 2 breakthrough skill for now, 1 emptiness, because emptiness is still very powerful. Have a 3000 beater, and emptiness is kind of game. You're pointing to special summon from the extra deck to beat over that, but they can't because of emptiness. And for the last trap, I'm playing 1 Call of a Haunted, because Call of a Haunted is actually very cool. It's another revival, but it's a slow revival. Basically, on their turn, I can bring Arc Break to banish their scales, or bring Felgrand to banish a key monster, bring a Spirit in the end phase to banish a spell trap. It's really good. One of it's just clutch. That's it for this main deck. That's 42 cards, by the way. 42, a lot of people don't like that number, but in this deck you draw a lot and you send a lot to the graveyard, so it doesn't really matter. For the extra deck, I'm playing 3 Spirit, Blue Eye Spirit White, or Blue Eye Spirit Dragon, sorry. Spacing on the name. This card is nuts. This card does everything for you. Main reason why I'm playing the deck. Really cool card. I think 3 is mandatory. I go through all 3 like in one. Every duel I make 2 or 3. Sorry. So 3 is mandatory. Even after alternative white dragon comes out, 3, it's the way to go. 2 Asherites. Asherites is really good. Blanket protection for all your dragons, and Monster Reborn on your standby phase is actually hard to pass. 1 actually works, but I like the second one in here just in case I need it. And there has been a lot of times at which I needed the second one, so I'm happy that I have the second one in there. Moonlight Rose Dragon basically is to interrupt your opponent's play on their turn, and on your turn you can make Crystal Wing with this. If you don't know the Crystal Wing play, basically you summon this, then you run away for any level 7 dragon, and then you normal summon a stone, and then you make Crystal Wing, which Crystal Wing is really good in this deck, because if it dies, Felgrand can bring it back. For the last target, I play 1 Sparks, started Spark Dragon. It's really clutch, because you can actually synchro summon for this with Arc Brave and one of the tuners, and if it's in the graveyard, you bring it back with Felgrand. It's really clutch. No more to say about that. It's really good. It protects your floodgates game 2 and 3. Plus, if you recall in the trap lineup, I'm playing Vanities, so Vanities and Sparks really clutch. For the last synchro, Crystal Wing Dragon, broke ass card. It's just insane. It lasts in the face of a lot of decks. I think this card's a little bit too overpowered, but it's at 3, so we'll play 1 because it's really good. I kind of want to see this card banned because it's too powerful. That's it for the synchros. For the Xyz, Heliopolis. Basically, you summon this into back row to bait them out. They have to respond to this card, or their spells and traps will be blown up. So 1 Heliopolis, 1 Felgrand. Comes up a lot actually. Having Blue Eye Spirit in this, it's actually game. It's a really tough board to break. Your opponent will struggle, against it. So one Felgrand just to ensure game, late game Felgrand is kind of game. Number 38, protections against spells, and it becomes really big too. If your opponent attacks into it, then they're gonna suffer because this guy is actually he is actually nuts. I'm playing the Galaxy engine, one number 62, one full armor, and one dark matter. This card, it's busted. Every time I resolve this card, I win the duel. Sending 3 dragons to the graveyard, basically fueling your graveyard of everything that you need. It's just dumb. I still don't know why this card is allowed, but you know, Konami, they know what they're doing, right? And for the last card, I'm playing one Blue Eyes Twin Burst Dragon. And the only reason why I'm playing this card is because I own one. I have never summoned this card, and I don't think I would ever summon this instead of a rank 8. Or unless my opponent is walling up and I need to like clear it, because he can't be destroyed by battle, and anything that doesn't die by battle against this guy, it's removed from game. So it's clutch at the one, you know. So that's it for the main deck. That's 42 cards, 15 extra deck, and I won't show you my side deck because again, it's player's preference. Again, if you have any questions about the deck, let me know. I'll sure to answer them. Any other questions about any other decks, of course, feel free to ask. I will be making a Nats video later on just because Nats was actually bullshit this year. I didn't enjoy it one bit. I mean, going to Pittsburgh was great, but the event itself was awful. Again, thank you for sticking around. Like the video if you enjoyed the deck, and let me know what you would change. And if you need help with any other decks, let me know. Again, thank you for watching, and I am out. Peace.